Well, we are just 2 weeks away from a federal election that could have a big impact on how we get around in the city. And for the first time ever, all three leading federal parties have committed to funding transit. So how much Toronto would get depends on who's elected. Let's take a look at what's being offered. The Liberals have promised the most, almost $20 billion to transit over 10 years. The NDP promising $1.3 billion a year for 20 years, plus another $1.5 billion from gas tax. The Conservatives say they'll put aside $250 million in 2017, which will grow to $1 billion a year by 2020. So transit dollars are coming, but where are they needed the most? Philip Lee-Shanok takes a look at where Toronto can get the most bang for its buck.
If there's one thing we've all experienced in the GTA, it's this.
May have the two left lanes blocked. Heavy delays now. City extremely slow with volume.
You just can't win on some days.
The pain of gridlock. Like a lot of Torontonians, for Roger Gingrich, it's the worst part of his day. And for him, it's more than 3 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Commuting, it takes a toll on you very quickly. It's stop and go. You're constantly worried about getting into an accident, rear-ending somebody else rear-ending you. You're constantly on nerves.
He's so fed up, he's taken drastic action. He sold his home in East End Toronto to move to Georgetown, a 20-minute drive to work.
It's a tough one. You know, Toronto is a city of neighborhoods, and the neighborhood, you know, I live in right now at the beach I love it.
He doesn't have much of a choice if he wants to avoid a long commute. Public transit just can't get him to where he needs to be.
Not everybody is heading into the downtown core. For me, my 3-hour commute would be over 6 hours by taking public transit. It's just not an option for me at all.
A rail system is one option that would get a lot of people out of their cars. No matter who wins this federal election, transit dollars are coming. But how should they be spent? Some suggest expanding the current subway system is key.
I think the goal should be to win transit where transit could be won.
This transportation engineer says building public transit outside the downtown core would be expensive and may not be worth it.
Transit is only viable in high-density destinations. We have to realize that this would not be the case in the suburban locations. So anytime you cross north of Steeles in Markham and Vaughan or go west of Mississauga, public transit would not be able to compete with car, and that is just a reality that's a simple physics of mobility.
He says any new dollars should go to a downtown relief line.
We need them all. The reality is, you know, Smart Track services the region, the downtown relief line services, you know, the central part of the city. And it's not an either-or choice.
But this former city planner says a big spend on transit is far overdue.
Go into deficit to, in fact, borrow the money at incredibly low interest rates and try and play catch-up and plan for the future.
Torontonians already have one of the worst commutes in North America. Experts say the time to make a difference is now, or this will just get worse.
There's more to life than spending 3 hours a day, especially when your workday is only 8 hours, and add on another 3 days of commuting. It's no way to live.
Philip Lee-Shanok, CBC News, Toronto.